Welcome to Show Me Something Wrong,
where each episode one of us chooses a movie to watch that the other hasn't seen. The movie is often obscure, usually odd, and always wrong. I'm Dave.
And I'm Guy.
And this week, it's our 50th episode. And we've both chosen a movie.
That is correct.
So what have you chosen, Guy?
So I have chosen Door by director Banmei Takahashi from 1988.
And I've chosen Sabaku from the year 2000, directed by Casino.
Who?
We'll learn more about that later on. Well, happy 50th.
I'll tell you what, let's open our beers. Celebratory beer opening.
On pod. Unplug beer.
Everyone, get your beers ready. We're all going to open them together.
Okay, ready? Should we do a countdown for everybody?
3, 2, 1, beer! Hey!
There we go.
This is our 50th anniversary beer.
Yeah.
Not 50th episode beer.
50th anniversary. Imagine we've been making this for 50 years.
Jesus.
Fuck it, oh, that'd be
Time
horrendous.
flies.
We're like in our 80s talking about big money rustlers.
Oh, don't. I'll be long dead before I watch another clown film.
Wow. Can you believe it? 50 fucking episodes.
No, I cannot. And over what time span? Maybe 2 years?
I can't really remember. Yeah, it must be like almost 2 years we've been doing the pod because we had a 1 year anniversary thing. And that was last year, I think. But time flies, Guy. And it's hard to know what year it is.
I've aged terribly in these 2 years.
I was gonna say, what's happening? You've gone grey.
I know. What, my skin?
Yeah.
Oh dear. So today we've mixed up the formula a little bit, and we have chosen these films because these were the instigators of this podcast.
Yeah.
So I lent you Door a few years ago.
Yeah.
And you lent me Sabaku. And both we had not seen before. And both of our minds were equally blown.
Yeah.
It was how the fuck have I not heard of this film? And how has it not been seen before?
Yeah. And I think that's like something we've talked about before where we've got films that we both love, of course. We both love Blood Diner.
Knockout
Bonded about Night Diner? Bonded over Blood Diner the first time we met. And, lots of other films that, of course, we both love. But yeah, that was like, I remember when you lent Door to me, it was a shock that I hadn't heard of this film. And probably similar for Sabaku as well. So we realized that there were these gaps in our film knowledge that we could fill in for each other.
So in this episode, we're not going to do our usual run-throughs. It's going to be more of... We'll cover some facts, do the backgrounds, I guess, and just kind of discuss the films, our initial thoughts and feelings when we watch them.
Yeah, so no blow-by-blow breakdown, because that would be like a 5-hour episode.
Yeah, I don't have the energy for that. We've already been doing it for 50 years.
Yeah. We also wanted to do a little kind of countdown, I guess, of like all of the films we've covered. So from way back in the first episode.
Yeah.
And maybe just, what were we thinking, like a quick couple of words that come to mind to summarize that film. Yeah. So like if it's a film I've chosen, you're going to give your memory of that film in a like very tightly
memory
packaged
or
couple of words.
First thing that comes to mind.
Could be one word. Shit. For example,
I will use that.
You might use that for some films. Should we get into
that? Going from 1 to 49.
Yeah.
All right.
Shall we?
Let's go through it. Speed run.
So, number 1, Mad Foxes.
Mad Foxes. There was Nazis and exploding penises, and I think a 40-year-old man trying to sleep with a very young girl.
There we go.
That's my recollection of it. Writhing tongue.
My main memory, blood blasting from a child's clenched teeth.
Oh, that's grim.
my summary of that film.
Oh, that's a very upsetting film.
Number 3, P.T. Wheatstraw.
Oh, great theme song. Big watermelons. And birthing a 16-year-old kid. Infernal Rapist.
I remember a very fashionable female Satan and the beginning of hilarious cum faces.
Oh, yeah. Was that the start of
that
the
was the start of that, what would you say, trope of the podcast?
Yeah, you love a cum face.
All right, next we have a Sato film, Nay Means Yes. One of our most popular episodes.
Is it?
Yeah.
Severed horse cock masturbation.
That's like a search in Pornhub or something.
Oh, no.
I think the next one's going to be equally grim.
What was the next one? Oh, Red Account, My Bloody Angel.
Corpse parts being used as sex toys.
Beautifully done, by the way.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say maybe the cup noodle scene.
Yeah.
That's also left a big impression.
Classic moment. All right, next we've got American Hunter.
You know what? I barely remember it, but I think there was like a very homoerotic electroshock scene.
Yes, there was.
Right?
There was. I forgot about that.
That's the only scene I remember. Your favourite, Worm Eaters.
This is what sticks out the most in my mind. 2 women eating hot dogs off the ground like fucking animals.
Yeah. That's great.
Oh, and one of your favorites, Duck the Carbine High Massacre.
I hate white people. Or was it fuck white people? I can't remember. Yeah. There's a black guy with a t-shirt.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I'll save my shit for later on. Night Dreams, episode 10.
A man in a cream of wheat costume getting a blowy.
Oh, of course. Couldn't be anything else.
Don't Stop My Crazy Love for You.
You know what? I think that was probably the first film that you brought to the pod that I actually loved. Oh, I can't think of anything else. It's a happy rape. It's a happy rape scene. There's that.
Yeah, it's got a very
twist, rape twist.
Rape twist. Yeah. A very shocking ending to that film.
Great film though. Id by Kei Fujiwara.
This is one I barely remember anything. The main thing I remember, puppet pigs.
Oh yeah. I like the puppet pigs.
All right, next, The Bucks Party.
Criminally unknown people aged badly back then.
All these like 20-year-olds that look like they're about 50.
A classic. Red spells red.
There are so many things we could say about this one, but I think the most important thing, this episode is the origin of frolicking. So if you want to hear a definition, Guy's definition of frolicking, go back to red smells red.
That's another big trope, isn't it? Yeah.
All right, next we've got a haunted Turkish bathhouse.
Glam rock cat demon. And also a very cool look into the Japanese brothels culture from their heyday. So what is next? Episode 16, Blood Brothers.
Oh, absolute fucking favorite. Comically giant lines of coke getting snorted by children.
They're fucking massive. For me, like, for Blood Brothers, when he kind of gets reincarnated as Jesus.
Oh, yeah, fucking amazing. Oh my god. All right, next, The Murder Secret.
Oh, man. Unbelievably stiff and pointless dialogue.
Yeah.
However, the kid getting his head chainsawed off was incredible. A controversial one. Metal Days by Shozo Fukui. The one that has caused many issues for us.
Yeah. In terms of story, though, the thing that comes to mind, punks doing flips.
Oh, there's a lot of flips.
A lot of punk flips.
I like that.
All right, next up, Suburb Murder.
Cum Dungeon.
I forgot about that.
There's a big old cum dungeon. There's like 5 dudes fucking a girl in a graffitied covered little cum dungeon. It's very grim.
Grotesque.
Episode 20, Hell Roller.
Not a favorite of mine. Unnecessary Siamese twin characters.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Touch of Death.
Stellar performance. I think, but the wincing at ugly women is probably the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. When he's just like, right, what's next? Night Evil Soul.
Hunk of the Village.
Oh, of course, another trope. Hunk of the Village.
Next up, Limbo.
For Limbo, nothing but respect for Tina Kraus and what she went through to make it, but I just didn't get the movie. Next up, Death Powder.
The most amazing piece of video editing I've ever seen in a film when that little box transitions down to the corner and someone kicks it off the screen.
That's wild.
Incredible stuff. Next up, Skinner.
Oh, extreme blackface.
Oh, yeah. God. Jesus Christ.
Killer Tongue.
Kill, and Bitch Party.
Oh, no, and Bitch Party. I forgot about that. Kill, and Bitch Party. Oh, no.
All right. Next up, Miracle Bunny 1 and 2.
Definitely not Hawaii.
Yeah.
Is all I have to say. Tampon Tango.
Buttholes.
There was a lot of buttholes.
A lot of buttholes.
Yeah. I thought maybe you were going to say cabbages or something. Oh, no. What was the other? Gambarimasu. I'll try my best.
Gambarimasu.
Buttholes,
the buttholes really stick out in my mind. Next up, the Oily Maniac.
It's just like it's like Mr. Blobby, but covered in poo. Is what he looks like. Perfect. The Family That Eats Soil.
A little person in a diaper.
Oh, yeah.
Houseboat Horror.
I don't understand Aussie English. Nighty Night.
Baffling Death by Cake.
Oh, yeah. That really wasn't very well executed, was it?
Hypervillain.
You know, there's the comic, and then there's the anime and also film series called Rape Man. This should be Rape Man.
Yeah.
Not the actual Rape Man films. What's next? We have Fatal Termination.
What else could I say except for the most shocking moment of child endangerment ever caught on film?
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Yep.
Super Shusha versus Down Mood.
Rainbows.
Yeah, there's a lot of rainbows. You know what's coming.
Oh, God.
You know what's coming.
Zombie A, Urban Decay.
Fuck a little, suck a little, smoke a little, toke a little.
Are you still, like, binging all of his movies, or have you since moved on?
I've moved on, but I might come back.
DJ Dirty D?
Yeah, oh my God. What a horrible world that opened up to me, that episode. Next up, The Boneyard.
It's, Miss Farts and Poops.
Oh yeah, Poots and Plots.
Poops and Plots!
Miss Farts and Poops.
She was great. I liked her. Poops and Plots. Oh, of course. Dog and Aunt.
Far too many listens for such a fucking disgusting episode.
Yeah. Is that our most popular?
I think Nay Means Yes is still number one, but this is number two. So our top two episodes are bestiality episodes. Fucking hell. Come on, guys. Soft Skin.
Masterpiece. Not a Pink film, but I think one of his best. Number 40, Bloody Buns.
Wrong Wong. All right. Ogroff.
Great soundtrack.
Oh, yeah. What was that song? That Rasta
I can't remember.
Zombie or something. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, fucking
Rasta Reaper?
Rasta Reaper, that's it. Yeah.
Great soundtrack and axe masturbation. Werewolf from Thailand.
Naked people thrusting their crotches at zombies.
Yeah.
And making them disappear.
They did that.
End of the Wicked.
Movie you hate to love.
That's on the box. On the VHS.
What's next? Hawk Jones.
Children.
Just children. That's it, children.
The Black Cat.
Oh, I'll tell you what. For the Black Cat, it's kind of like probably one of our most normal films, and I think it's a film that you could just throw on at a movie night and not get hated by all your friends.
That's true. Yeah.
It's probably our most normal film, I reckon.
It is. Yeah.
Next up, Mindfuck.
Great use of a lazy Susan.
Yeah. Love a spinny.
Oh no. Oh, here we go. Guy's gonna get triggered. Big money rustlers.
Shit. And whoop whoop. Tabetai. I want to eat.
Pubic hair munching.
Oh yes. No, not nice. Not nice.
Talk to me, Dickie. That's the last one, 49. That was our last episode.
He drunk 3 penises wines last month.
We gotta find out what that
penises wines.
3 penises.
3 of them as well.
Wow.
So that's 1 to 49.
1 to 49. And I also thought it'd be fun to look at the films that we gave 10 to. A double 10.
A double 10.
One of them actually got double 11.
Oh, yeah.
The one time we did that. So 5 films got the double 10.
Okay.
Duck, the Carbine High Massacre. Red spells red. Blood Brothers. End of the Wicked, that got 2 11s. And I Want to Eat. So what do you think, reflecting on those 5 films? Were we overrating them? Are they all deserving of the double 10s?
So Duck... Yeah, that's a double 10 for sure, based on the fucking school shootings. And it was made, like, so shortly after, right?
Immediately after the shootings, which is so fucked.
Got arrested, brought real guns to school.
Yeah. It's, undeniable.
Oh, yeah.
Double 10.
The double 10. Red Spells.
I'm a little surprised we gave it a double 10, but it is a mad film.
I
think in that episode we were really under that film's spell. Yeah, like
it's like a haunted film. It's like a cursed film.
That's right. Yeah, that was the feeling we got from it. Right, that we were watching something we shouldn't be watching. But that's one where it's the reason why we gave it the double 10 is not as clear cut, I think. But it is a film I think about a lot. It's probably the film that has stuck with me the most. And probably the one that I'll go back and rewatch, I think.
Oh, the man covered in scorpions. All the animal killings aside, the man just like covered in scorpions.
Yeah, that film,
all over his face.
Yeah, it gave me nightmares, all that shit. Yeah, fuck that. I realized how much I hate scorpions after that.
Yeah. Oh, she like smashing them with the rock in the cave.
Ew.
Stella. Oh, no. And the water wheel as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
If it's not a 10, it's a 9.5.
Yeah.
You gave a couple of 0.5s.
I think I stopped doing that after...
I never did.
I think after the first one, I stopped doing that.
Oh, you gave one for Murder Secret and 17 as well. Fucking liar.
Yeah, I've gone off the 0.5s. Blood Brothers. I think that's a definite 10.
Yeah.
We're just getting kids to do shit like that. And it's like mad.
And it's really like sexual as well.
It's grimy and disgusting, and all the kind of religious elements to it really. Oh, it's not right. It feels like you're watching a film made by a serial killer. Yeah. Sorry, Mike Diner, who's a very nice man,
pleasant fella,
pleasant guy, very quiet, shy man. Yeah, and like. End of the Wicked, fucking hell. Like, that's
no-brainer.
I think that is the most fucked up thing we've ever covered, because it's the only film that has actually led to death and destruction. Like, actually, the film itself has caused fucking death.
And not just 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Like
it's
hundreds.
Created a fucking epidemic. Yeah. Yeah. What a horrible...
That's deserving of the 11s. That broke the wrongometer.
Yeah.
It made all previous double 10s just meaningless.
We threw the fucking wrongometer out. We smashed it to smithereens. And I Want to Eat, of course. Yeah.
Oh, I Want to Eat. Does that still hold up then?
Oh, yeah.
Double 10.
You can't have Issei Sagawa on screen for an entire film and not give a double 10. I'm sorry. Even if there was nothing happening in that, if it was just shots of him, it's still a double 10.
Is it?
Yeah.
But that was awful, him recreating his murder in porn format.
Gross.
So there you go.
We make a gross show, guy. We talk about gross things.
Yeah. I was going to say, our moral like standard is pretty...
Yeah. There's a reason I don't talk about this podcast to my regular friends.
Yeah, even just like sharing things on Instagram, I'm just like, oh, I hope someone...
Yeah, like I'll share the one about the black cat or Miracle Bunny. I'm not going to share the Issei Sagawa one.
Yeah, fucking hell. 3 penises once, Jesus. So, all right. So should we talk about Door?
Let's get into Door.
All right.
Yeah.
So rather than the backstory of Door, I want to talk about the company. You may have heard of this. You may be very aware of them, but I myself wasn't. But Door and many other surrounding films that we all fucking love come from Directors Company. I don't know if you've heard of Directors Company.
I've heard the name.
And recently, Third Window Films have been putting out a series under the title of Directors Company.
And they put out why I've heard it.
I think that's come to light a lot recently.
Right.
And because it's such a generic term, like Directors Company, like, it's so generic. And the films that they've released under the Directors Company label are seemingly not connected. They're different directors, different years, but all from Japan. But Directors Company is actually a team of directors that came together in the early 80s after kind of growing tired of working for like big studio productions and wanted to make more like independent movies without any creative constrictions, but as a group rather than an individual director. So they're a group of 9 directors.
Right.
And they formed this this team called Directors Company. And among them were Banmei Takahashi, who we're talking about today, Kiyoshi Kurosawa, Toshiharu Ikeda, who's made one of my all-time favorite films, which I'll get into later, and of course, the person who we've spoke about on this film, whose name just pops up fucking everywhere, Ishisogo.
Right.
Yes. Among others. So these guys basically formed this team and they found sponsorship from outside the film industry. So they could basically get funding, but without kind of relinquishing any creative control. And their sponsors were silent sponsors. And they kind of saw this this formation as a cultural movement rather than a business investment. So these guys got together in the early 80s, and the first thing they put out was a 3-part collaboration release. All films you are familiar with. First one being Banmei Takahashi's Wolf, Running is Sex.
Great film.
Yes. Izumiya Shigeru of Death Powder, his Harlem Valentine's Day.
I've still not watched that.
Have you not?
No, but I really want to, yeah.
I've been banging on about that for months.
Yeah, I gotta see it.
That's a great pink film.
Gotta see it.
And then Ryuro Uzaki's Rock is Sex.
I don't think I know
It's the lesser known one.
Okay, yeah.
But it's something. I think he's actually a musician primarily, this director. But it's about this fucking group of guitarists or something come together. But these 3 films got released as a set on DVD. It's got this like title Pink something or other. It's not been translated into English, so I can't remember. But yeah, that was their first kind of release as this like collaborative effort. But then after that, the Directors Company released their first like big scale movie. And that is one of my absolute all-time favorite films, a film that I have been banging on for you to fucking watch, and you still haven't fucking watched it. Mermaid Legend. Oh my god.
I do really need to see that.
What an absolutely incredible movie. And yeah, that's by Ikeda Kantoku. He actually killed himself recently.
Yeah.
He went to the place where he filmed Mermaid Legend.
Yeah, you told me about that.
And,
he drowned himself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is just awful. Yeah, I remember when I first saw that, I just, I almost like wept. It's just so moving, so beautiful, such a powerful film. But yeah, so that was their first big scale movie under this Directors Company team, which is incredible. That was in 1984. Shortly after that, another film, a film which I watched for the first time recently, fucking blew my mind. Shogo Ishii's The Crazy Family.
Right. Yeah, you told me about that one. I've still not seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shogo Ishii's like, he's someone that I will always just associate with punk cinema. And obviously I love Burst City and Crazy Thunder Road, but his punk films have always been films that I kind of like appreciate more than like absolutely love. You know?
Yeah. I think I'm the same. Yeah, we've talked about that before. Like, I respect him, but his films don't do that much for me. But he's so connected to like fucking everything we talk. Every time we talk Japanese films, he comes up in some way. There's some connection to him.
Yeah, I think the Crazy Family was the first like non-punk film of his that I watched, and I was like, hang on, this literally blows everything else he's done out of the water. It is fucking incredible. So yeah, they released that. After that, Typhoon Club, which I know you watched recently.
That's a great film.
And then in the same year, I believe, Evil Dead Trap, again by Ikeda Kantoku.
What a fucking film.
And Door.
Also, what a fucking film.
So basically, this company is responsible for basically some of my all-time favorite films.
Yeah.
In a very, very short time span. So yeah, all under this director's company label. I know that, the Third Window Films have released 3. I think they have another 3 lined up. But I'm just waiting for that Mermaid Legend to come out. God damn it. So, unfortunately, the demise of director's company is quite a sad one. So, whilst they were filming a film called Toho Kenroku, someone died on set. They drowned whilst filming one of the action scenes, which, you know, the way that they filmed was really bad and completely, like, unsafe. And amongst all of that, due to compensation issues and also the collapse of the bubble economy, there was just like no more funding. And then loads of the founding members left the group, so they were like exempt from liability of the death of one of these people in their films. So unfortunately, like, despite it being this really incredible, you know, movement for transgressive and independent cinema, which created some of the greatest Japanese films, it was just they just went out of business, went bankrupt, and just disbanded. Yeah, very sad.
Yeah,
but hopefully, the window will pick up the remaining parts of this filmography and get them out to the West, because, I mean, Evil Dead Trap, that's been around for a while, but some of these other films are criminally unknown. Now, I saw Door and Mermaid Legend. Funny enough, both of them were recommended to me by my old coworker. So, Japanese lady, about 10 years older than me. This is when I was working in England still. We used to talk about horror movies and stuff all the time. And she was just like, I remember when I was younger, I watched this film called Door on TV and it scared the shit out of me. This was about 7 or so years ago. So, long before the Blu-ray that's just come out. And I messaged my Japanese friend and I was like, there's this film called Door. Apparently it's pretty good. Do you know about it? And she just bought this secondhand DVD off Mercari. And she's like, yeah, I bought it. Like, let's watch it. I was like, cool. And then she gave me the DVD after. But when I was watching, I was just like, hang on, this film is fucking great. But I'd never heard of it. No one's speaking about it at all. And actually, for this podcast, I went onto Letterboxd and looked at the history of Letterboxd. And now there's like 2,000 or something entries. At the time I watched it, I was the 6th person to log it.
Yeah.
And then I think I was the first person to review it, but I since deleted all my reviews. But then since, I had this this DVD, the unsubbed DVD, and I was like, no one's seen this, but it's a fucking masterpiece. And that was when I shoved it into your hand. I was like, Dave, you got to watch this because you're going to fucking love it. And did you love it?
Yeah, I fucking loved it. And talking about the Letterboxd thing and how unknown this film was, it's fucking crazy. Because, I also looked at the history and it's like there's no reviews. And then just suddenly it's like this flood of reviews because obviously people fucking love this film because it's great. But it was just hidden for so long. But I remember like seeing, it's a really rare case where I saw people referring to it as a lost film. And, like, this sort of shit. It's like, no, it's got a fucking DVD release.
It was never lost.
It's not a lost film. But for some reason, it was just so weirdly obscure and like hard for people to get their hands on. Yeah, it's never been lost.
No.
But it was just, I think it was more like forgotten.
Yeah.
And like luckily Third Window, as well as like the Japanese company here who's re-released it and remastered it, have given it a new life because it well deserves it. When I watched it, Tana and I watched it, and maybe like, I don't know, like 10, 15 minutes in, both of us were just like, what the fuck? Like, how is this not more talked about? It's one of the strangest films I think I've ever seen. Like, just tonally and like the way it's structured. And that makes a lot of sense when you say about the director's company thing, because it feels like a film with no notes from producers or anything, because it's just so unusual and so fucking unique as well. But yeah, it's a really amazing film.
Yeah, I don't know why it never quite made it over, outside of Japan before this recent release, but it is quite a dialogue-heavy film, and maybe just because, for the first, for the majority of the film, if you don't understand Japanese and you don't have a subtitle, there's no subtitled version until recently, so for that point, maybe it just wasn't appealing to a Western audience, like an unsubbed copy of this dialogue-heavy film. I don't know, because...
Yeah.
But like you said, I think not lost, but forgotten sounds like the correct term.
I think it's also, like, it's a hard film. Like, reading some of the reviews and just knowing how strange it is, I think it's not a film for everyone.
No.
So I was watching it again last night with my friend, and he was loving it, but he was also like, wow, this film... For the first 30 minutes, he just made the comment where, like, this film, like, it's kind of like nothing's happening, but it's amazing. And it is kind of true at the beginning. It moves at its own pace.
It's got a very dreamlike atmosphere, like these weird, like, swimming scenes, which don't really have any purpose.
Yeah.
And but it lulls you into this weird place.
Yeah, it's all about setting the tone of it. And there's choices that he makes as a director that you are either going to love or hate. So the fact that the music in the film is basically like one song.
Oh, yeah.
Over and over and over. And I love it. It adds so much to it for me. But I saw a review on Letterboxd, or maybe a comment where it's like, oh, this film would have been great if it wasn't for that fucking music. I'm like, but that's my favorite thing about it.
Yeah. That song is so iconic.
Oh, great. That's such a good song.
And it's got these like really, it's almost like done like a little shitty keyboard. It's got the little drums like do, and then dun, 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 dun. It's great. I loved it. But it's stylistically, it's been like tagged as a Japanese giallo, which I can kind of get.
There's elements to it. I think it does things. Are we going to give like just a synopsis of what it is?
So just in a nutshell, I've got one written here. So after several strangely threatening calls from a local salesman, a homemaker becomes increasingly afraid to answer her apartment door.
I think the giallo connection there, I don't really agree with that, but I think like at the end there's elements that are a little bit Jallic, as you would say.
I do say that.
In our last episode. Like, for example, and this is kind of a spoiler, so maybe skip over this if you want to watch the film, which you should. The bit at the end where it's like all shot from above and you kind of realize that this apartment is obviously like a set, which kind of blew my mind when I watched it because I thought it was a real location. But there's a shot that's like a bird's eye view of the apartment moving through it. That feels like something from a giallo where it's like pure, like kind of crazy stylistic choice that would have been so hard to pull off because it's like one shot, but it adds so much to it. That to me felt very much like a giallo. But for me, like when I first saw it, and again, this is not like a perfect comparison because I think this film is very unique. The thing that it reminded me of was almost like Michael Haneke, like a Michael, like the guy that made Funny Games and stuff like that. Yeah. Almost like one of his sort of films where it's like focused on this sort of domestic thing and very, very grim kind of film. Kind of like him if he like fucking loved crazy gore and crazy shots and stuff. Right. But again, that's like not a perfect comparison, but it did give me that kind of feeling, especially in the early moments of it.
But I think I think there are some points that can be connected to Giallo, but what's different is that in a Giallo, you basically have to wait until the end to find out who the killer is, but it's from the get-go, from the very beginning. We know it's like a door-to-door salesman who's just like after the housewife. And it's great because we get both sides of the story throughout the entire film. And it's so good.
It's amazing.
But what's great about Door is it's essentially, I mean, it's a stalker home invasion movie, right? I was reading an interview with Banmei Takahashi, and he was saying that when he made this, the word stalker hadn't yet arrived in Japan.
Really?
Yeah, so they didn't have the word stalker.
In 88, they didn't have the word stalker.
No, it's a relatively new term for them. So there wasn't like any of this, like, you know, the stalker home invasion formula to go off.
Right.
You know, so it wasn't so like, cut and paste, this is a stalker movie, or this is a home invasion movie. Because when you say it's a home invasion movie or a stalker movie, you get all the imagery, and that would become just a cut and paste kind of job.
Yeah.
But because they didn't have that word yet, it seems like this is more like rooted in like deeply primal fears, like someone coming into your home. And I think that's what really makes it so effective.
Yeah, it's really, like, watching it again last night, I was really struck by how it's like so specific in its themes, like early on, because even before the home invasion aspect of it happens, like all these scenes of her getting like harassed by phone calls that are not even necessarily the main villain, right? And just people like trying to sell stuff and like neighbors like looking at her, and it feels more like a comment on what it's like to live in like a modern like apartment building kind of world.
Yeah,
like very suffocating kind of atmosphere. Yeah, it does not feel at all like a typical home invasion stalker kind of film. It's very, very unique.
And what's also great, the casting. So Keiko Takahashi, so the wife of the director, is the main role in this, and she really looks the part.
Yeah,
she is such a housewife type. Looks great, and the little kid. So
I was hoping we could talk about the little kid.
What's his name? Taku-chan?
Yeah. Taku-chan? Yeah. Maybe they showed it to that. Yeah.
Oh, what a funny fella he is.
Oh, dude, the kid adds so much to this film because it's very hard to explain, but it's both one of the best child performances I've seen and one of the worst rolled into one. But there's a realism to him. He doesn't feel like a child actor. He feels like they've literally just grabbed some bratty fucking kid and forced him to be in this film. And there's just shots. There's one shot in the film that I remember the first time I watched it, I recorded the screen and I think I posted it on Twitter where what's her name? Sorry,
Keiko Takahashi.
Yeah, she smashes a binbiru over the head of the stalker, and there's just a shot of the kid reacting, but it's like blank faced, and he's just like,
but with his mouth just open,
mouth open, and it's like kind of an empty sort of performance, but it's also quite real because I think that's how a real kid would react. Just no idea how to respond to that sort of situation. And then later on, he's getting like forced to help her attack the home invader. And she's like making him hit this chainsaw.
You know what?
It's fucking incredible.
I was watching that scene this morning and so they're in a bathroom, right? And the invader is in their home. He's got a chainsaw and he's cutting through the door. And all she's got in the fucking bathroom is an umbrella and for some reason a roller skate.
Yeah, there's a scene where she grabs them and hides in the bathroom. So she's chosen these things, deliberately chosen these things.
So they're clearly fucked, right? So the wife, instead of like thinking, right, I need to protect my kid, she slaps him. She goes up to that. She slaps him. She goes, "Taku-chan, do you want to die? We need to fight." And he's like, And so she gives him this little roller skate. And there's a chainsaw coming through the door. The chainsaw is on.
Yeah, watching that again, it looks really dangerous.
And they've got this little Taku-chan kid, and he's like beating it with his little roller skate. I was like, fuck. I mean, it is a absolutely incredible finale of the film. It doesn't end there. I'm not going to give away the ending, but it gets gory.
Yeah.
And for 88, quite high levels of gore.
Yeah.
And very well done as well.
The gore is like very...
It's not overly exaggerated, which is good.
That's what it is. It's very like skin crawling sort of gore. Where you're like, ooh, like it's quite a nasty sort of. Yeah.
It's not like guts flying around. It's like this is what it would look like.
Yeah. Oh, it's very effective. Yeah. I also love, and I know that you love this as well. Like it's mostly a one location film as well, so it's very claustrophobic. And oh man.
So recently. As we've mentioned, this got a restoration and a re-release in Japan. And we had the pleasure of going to see Door and Door 2 in the theatre. And
seeing Door 2 at that time, like previously, that was impossible to find outside of a very shitty VHS.
Yeah. That didn't have a DVD release.
Yeah, so now that's easy to see. It's on the same release as the third Windows Blu-ray. But yeah, that was a very interesting experience. We went in to watch the two films in Juso, and first film was great, of course, it's Door. But going into Door 2, I really had no idea what to expect, because it's the same director, but I think we were both aware it was not going to be a traditional sequel, because how could you make a sequel to that?
Yeah.
And it's not even really a thematic sequel. Like there's not much connection.
No, there's not
between those films. So I went in with like, I guess no expectations. And for the first bit, I'm like, oh yeah, this is okay. But then by the end, I'm like, fucking hell, that was great. For me, Door 2 is maybe as good as, maybe not quite.
I would go as good, but
very close to being as good as Door. And it also has like you mentioned, the violence in Door is like quite grounded, and there's a violent moment in Door 2 that made me gasp when we saw it in the cinema. So that was amazing watching that.
Door 2 feels more like a Pink film.
Yeah.
And Banmei Takahashi is a Pink director primarily, or his roots are. Yeah, his wife, Keiko Takahashi, also makes an appearance, but as a different character.
Yeah.
So I was just like, hang on, so it's the same director, I just saw the cast. So his wife is in it as well. It's Door 2, but I was like, I don't know what to expect. But she barely is in it. She makes like a brief cameo.
Yeah, very small role. Yeah.
But as you mentioned, Door 2 was very difficult to find up until it was added onto this disc. So I actually watched Door 3 before 2.
Yeah, I've not seen that, but that's by Kurosawa Kiyoshi, right?
And at first I was like, why the fuck is Kurosawa Kiyoshi directing Door? Why is it not Banmei Takahashi? But then after looking at Director's Company, he was in the same company, so that makes sense now. But going from Door, the first one, as you said, like this like closed set, one location film, to then Door 3, which is like they're going in and out of shops. It's all around the city. It doesn't feel anything like a Door film. So on that point alone, I was immediately just like, nope, not liking this at all. But seeing that Door 2 also kind of had that approach, I still need to go back and rewatch Door 3 and see if I can like see it in a new light, see if I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, Door 2, I guess like the only connection is like everything that's happening. It's like it's in like hotel rooms.
Yeah, it's like right? I think she's a prostitute, and it's like the theme is on the other side of the door.
Yeah,
who's the client? What's the person going to be like? Yeah. So it still uses the theme of Doors, but it's different.
Yeah. But great film as well, though. Definitely worth seeing.
When we were in the cinema watching it, I was really enjoying it. It got up to like the climax of the last scene. Up until that point, I was like, "This is a really good film," and then. We had the last scene. I was like, this is a great film.
The last scene absolutely fucking smashes it out of the ballpark. It's such a fucking good ending to that film.
Yes.
I'm really looking forward to watching that again with subtitles as well. Because again, it's like fairly dialogue heavy. So yeah, I'm really pumped to watch that.
So there you go. That was Door.
Do we do a wrongometer?
Yeah, why not?
Let's
it's not going to rate high on the wrongometer.
Yeah, wrongometer is tough for this one. See how wrong it is, how fucked up it is, how much it shouldn't exist. It is a fucking very odd, unique film. I've never really seen anything like it before. It's very hard to compare to other films. I think, like the Jalo thing is like kind of an easy, a little bit lazy kind of label to put on it. So I think it does like stand out as a very unique film, but it's not that wrong.
There's some gory scenes, but it's a thriller. It's
But that, like, just that looping music and the kind of strange, like, vibes that it creates throughout. I think I'm still gonna go for maybe a 4 for it. Yeah, how about you?
I'm not gonna go that high. I'm gonna give it a 2. On
2? Wow. It's the lowest we've ever gone.
It's absolutely, it's a great film. It's a 10 out of 10 film.
Yeah.
But it's just not that wrong. But don't let that put you off from watching it. Watch it. It's fucking great. Watch Door.
Well, let's move on to the second film of the episode, Sabaku.
Funnily enough, both Japanese films.
And also, both one location films.
True.
Yeah, I realized that, like, watching Door again, I'm like, holy shit, both of the films that we've chosen are set basically in one location.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. There you go. Both Japanese, both set in one room. Very different.
Yeah.
Extremely different films. All right, so let's get into Sabaku, as I said before, from 2000. Directed, the credited director is Casino.
Yeah.
Like, written as Casino. Kajino in the Japanese pronunciation.
Bizarre.
And I've got a lot to say about who this guy is.
Great.
But let's get into it. First, maybe just to start with the story of how I came across this film. So, Guy, I have been on Letterboxd for a very fucking long time.
Okay.
I'm an early adopter of Letterboxd. Not to brag, but yeah, I've been on there for fucking ages.
Right.
Sometimes I look back on my old reviews and feel really embarrassed because I think when I first started, I'm like, oh, this is just for me to keep track of what I'm watching, which it is. But my old reviews are like just like one line and clearly not written with the idea that anyone else would be reading it. Because back then, people didn't.
When was back then, by the way?
I'm talking like 10 years ago?
Okay.
Maybe 10 years ago?
Right.
Yeah.
Because I remember, I had no idea about Letterboxd, and someone messaged me and asking if difficulty breathing was on Letterboxd. This was just maybe slightly after I made it, and I was just like, I don't know what that is. I was like, what the hell's Letterboxd?
Yeah.
And he was like, can I make a Letterboxd page for it? And I was like, I don't know. What is it? So and then I had to look up Letterboxd, and that's when I found what it is. I was like, so this is like IMDb, but kind of the same.
And yeah, it's kind of like a mix of IMDb and Facebook, I guess.
Right.
It's like a social media version of a movie fan site.
Is it that different though?
There is something. It's just better designed. It's more modern. Like, I feel like IMDb is just a database. I suppose it does have reviews as well, but I think Letterboxd is more about. It's easier to like find connections there, right? The way it's set up. So
it's user friendly for sure.
Yeah, and it feels more interactive, kind of like the message boards on IMDb were back in the day.
I fucking love those message boards.
Yeah, sad times.
So yeah, this was so I found Letterboxd. It would have been 2016 or 17.
Yeah, for me, like I've always, it's just something I need to do. Like I need to keep track of what I watch because I forget because I watch so much shit.
Yeah, and
even before Letterboxd, I had a blog and I would just review everything that I watched just to keep track of it. So then when Letterboxd came along, I'm like, oh. Fucking great. Here we go. It's doing all the work for me. So, yeah, in those days of Letterboxd and, a few years after that, that's sort of the time when I was getting into Sato. So Hisaysu Sato is going to feature heavily in this talk of Sabaku. So at that time, and I don't want this to sound like a lame brag, but like, at that time, like, most of his films, like, didn't really have any reviews. Some of them had 0, some would be, like, 1 or 2. So I think just from getting in there early on Letterboxd, like, perhaps a lot of people saw my reviews of his film first.
Sure.
And that's just, like, not to do with me, but more to do with getting into Letterboxd early. So because of that, like, Sato fans, like, would often get in touch with me and ask where I found stuff, and then also send me info where it's like, oh, you haven't seen this one yet. You can find it at this porn site here or whatever. So I had a lot of that kind of interaction. Yeah, there was a point where, like, almost every week I'd be getting, like, some kind of message about Sato, like, giving me tips on where to find stuff. And one week in particular, I remember getting a message from a super mega Sato fan who just had, I think it was like 3 or 4 of his films that I hadn't seen. And he just was like, you can see them all here. I'm like, holy shit. Because, like, to find one of his films, like, unearth one of them was, like, so exciting for me. And I got them all at once.
Nice.
And I think maybe in that same message, the same Sato fan was also like, oh, have you heard of this film Sabaku as well? Because it's rumored that maybe it's directed by Hisaysu Sato, because the director's credit is this casino credit, and Sato's credited as planning on it. So there were these rumors going around that he had directed it under a pseudonym. A lot of reviews, written in English, I should say, a lot of the reviews of Sabaku, including, unfortunately, my own original Letterboxd review, kind of feed into that rumor.
Right.
For me in my review, I'm like, there's this rumor that exists. I don't know if I believe it. And then some reviews like, oh, obviously, 100% this is directed by Sato. Like, people just doubling down on it. Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it.
No,
though.
And that was my feeling watching it. It's like, it feels like a film by someone Sato adjacent, but to me it did not quite feel like a Sato film.
It doesn't have all the regular tropes that you'd expect.
No, it doesn't have his tropes. But my biggest thing was always like, the rumor, I think, came from this idea that he didn't want his name on a film that was so violent and fucked up. I'm like, we're talking about Sato here, right? Yeah. Why would he fucking give a shit? Yeah. And then why would he have his name down as planning?
Yeah, that's dumb.
And then have this like weird casino pseudonym. So let's just get one thing out of the way. We can 110% confirm that Sabaku is not at all directed by Hisaysu Sato.
And he is not Casino.
Yeah, he is not Casino.
We asked him.
We confirmed this from Sato himself when we met him and we asked him about it. And also, and guys, this is exciting. I've got a little surprise for you.
Oh, what's it? He's pulling out a binder, folks.
So, I talked to you earlier in the week because I was trying to get my hands on a zine.
Oh.
From the early 2000s that had an interview with Kajino and was going to reveal all the secrets behind this film. And when I last spoke to you, I'm like, I can't get it in time because we're recording this weekend. I fucking got it,
You fucking got it?
This is all thanks to Tana.
Serious?
So massive fucking shout out to Tana for this. So we started researching this film and Kajino or Casino. And she found this mention of this Pink Films zine. It's called PG, Japanese Pink Films magazine, PG, number 80. On the cover it says interview with the director of Sabaku. And she found a reference to it on a website, and we searched for it. It was on one listing of it on Yahoo Auctions. But the guy was like, he would ship it in 3 days. Like, fuck, there's no way it can get here on time. So Tana was nice enough to write a message to him saying, like, is there any way we can speed this up? Yeah. And the guy was like, okay, bid on it now, and I'll send it tomorrow morning. Got it in a day. And,
serious?
Yeah, and Tana and I read the whole thing. Tana translated it. And it's a fucking gold mine. It's the fucking best interview.
Serious?
It's in-depth as fuck.
Damn.
And Mate, I fucking feel like I know so much more about this film and this director. So
hang on,
this is such a big help.
When we look, because you sent me a message asking about, if anyone collects zines and stuff. And I searched that. I found that auction, but it still had like 3 or 4 days left on it.
Yeah, so this guy on Yahoo Auctions, for some reason, just willingly was like, all right, I'll end it now, because we were like, I need it by, like, tomorrow. Is there any way?
Did he, like, put a premium price on it or anything?
The same price.
Fuck, what a dude.
I know, we gave him a great review. But, mate, it's such a good little zine. And, like, yeah, like I said, the interview, it's really long. And it's the guy doing the interview is someone who's been involved in Pink films as well, was an extra on Sato's films. And it's really pointed and specific and in-depth.
Wow.
And, yeah, just so much great information from this. So... thanks to Sato and to this zine and to Tana, we can 100% confirm, yes, this is a real person that directed this. It's not Sato under a pseudonym. So let's get into who he is.
Yeah.
This is fucking exciting. I'm buzzing.
Yeah, 'cause I know we spoke to Sato when we met him late last year, and we asked about Casino, and he told us about who he is and where he came from, and confirmed that it's not him. But you're saying you have a lot more information?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Let's get involved.
Let's do it. Okay. Yeah. So Sato, he gave us some information, but filled in a lot more gaps with this scene. So this film, Sabaku, is directed by a protege of Hisaysu Sato. And now here's one thing I don't know. I don't know 100% what his real name is.
Okay.
So on Letterboxd and IMDb, he has 3 different credits. So 3 separate people.
Okay.
So he's credited as Casino, his name for this. He's credited as Ko Kajino and Takahashi Kajino. And I don't know if his name is Ko or Takashi, because the kanji, Tana was like, I'm not sure. It could be either one. So if you see the credit Ko Kajino or Takashi Kajino, that's him.
Interesting. Now, the Kajino is always written in katakana. Do you know how the ko is that's you said that's kanji?
Yeah, I can show it to you, actually, if you want to have a look. But yeah, I looked it up, and it could be either or. So you can see it just there.
In the
brackets there.
On the Sabaku movie page, this is listed as his only directorial film. So, did he make other films under the different names?
No, but I'll get into what else he did, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, we're not sure. His name, I think it's Ko Kajino.
Yeah.
But it could also be Takashi. So, just know if you see those 2 names, that's him. So, let's get into him a little bit. So, he was born in Hokkaido in 1971. So, now keep that birth date in mind, because it makes this quite fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So... as Sato, he told us that he was basically a rich kid from a good family who left it all to work with Sato and make Pink films. So that's what we heard from him. So from this interview, I filled in some more gaps as well. So he was a young teenage filmmaker wannabe who started making films by himself initially at the age of about 15 or 16. And he wanted to be on film sets, but he wasn't really interested in being on student films and wanted to get involved in professional films.
Right.
He was also obsessed with blood and violence from a young age. He's not sure where it comes from, but he was always into that. He seems like, in the interview and like other things I've read about him, like quite a shy, gentle guy.
In that picture, he looks quite shy.
He looks very shy, yeah. So... the first Pink film that he watched as a teenager was a Sato film. Okay. I'm not sure which one exactly, but that got him really into Sato. And perhaps it might have been from the violence in Sato's films. Also, just as a side note, Tana had a great quote from Sato. So when we were hanging out with Sato, Tana asked him like why he was so interested in violence.
Yeah.
And she was like taking notes like afterwards of this. And his answer was something like this. So he said, when you feel like an outcast, that you don't fit into society, the way to express that frustration and aggression in its purest form comes out as violence, gore, and blood. So that's Sato. And I think that really connected with Kajino. All right. So
I'm just so glad Tyner was there to make notes, because
thank God
we were just drinking.
Thank Thank God for Tana. Yeah, she's the reason I've got all this information. All right, so young teen guy, super into Sato, wants to work for a professional film company, and here's where someone else steps in. So Masahiro Kasai, who is another Pink director and a Sato collaborator, he puts out an ad for an assistant, and Kajino sees this ad, and instead of just applying for it by mail or whatever, he looks up the address and goes to Tokyo and shows up at Shishi Production, like the Pink production company, and they employed him.
Wow.
As a teenager.
Just turned up.
Because they were so understaffed at that time. They were just like, yep, come on, get involved. And yeah, that's where he ultimately met Sato.
Wow. So as a teenager, he got his first job on a Pink movie set.
Yes.
As probably a minor, I assume.
This is where I'm not 100% sure. I'll go into that in a little bit more detail. Yes, but yeah, that's how he met Sato. So from the late 80s onwards, he worked as an assistant director on a lot of Sato films.
Okay.
So I don't know when he started exactly, so I can't pinpoint the exact date. But in the interview, the interviewer, as I said, was involved in Pink films as well, and he was an extra on the set of Love Obsession. Have you seen that one?
I don't think I have.
The Japanese title is Bijin Reporter Boku Namachuke, which translates to Beautiful Reporter Rape Broadcast. Just such a Sato title. But
wait, what's it called?
Love Obsession is the sort of fake English title.
I've not seen this.
Yeah, so this is from 1989, and yeah, the interviewer of this zine, he was on the set as an extra, and he remembers in the interview hearing that there was a high school kid from Hokkaido working on the film. So 1989 at that point, born in 1971, so he was probably 18.
Sure.
Maybe younger on the set of that film. Yeah, at least from the age of 17 or 18, he was working on fucking Pink films. So he saw his relationship with Sato as like a kind of master and apprentice sort of thing. And he
That's
said,
how Sato also put it, right?
Yeah, he put it as that too. And he said they had a great relationship, but it was very tough and extreme, which I can understand from hearing stories about Sato, like hitting actors.
Yeah, Imaizumi was a regular cast member. He was saying like, "Oh yeah, he beats me pretty bad.
Physically beats me." But yeah, so it sounded like a tough time, but he appreciated his generosity as well. He also, and this is where like I fully confirmed, okay, this is 100% him. Just with all of this information, I just wanted to make sure it was the guy that's in the picture here and lines up with the movies. So he also appeared as an actor in a few Sato films, and he is pretty prominent in the film Turtle Vision.
Oh yeah, I watched that recently.
Yeah, and I scanned through that, found him, looked at the picture, like, okay, that's him.
Okay.
Confirmed. He didn't just work on Sato films, he worked as an assistant director on a lot of other stuff, including, and I'm so excited to show you this.
Oh, you're going to blow my mind.
No, I'm not going to blow your mind. Right. I'm just going to make you laugh. So, including a film called Embraced by a Horse.
Oh, no.
And the Sea Breeze.
Oh, no.
It's a gay pinku.
Yeah.
And have a look at this poster.
Oh, that's great. That horse. Fucking hell. That's hilarious.
Yeah. There's no other information other than that, but I just, oh my god, that picture is amazing.
That's gotta, I mean, that is an awful poster. Yeah. Holy shit.
I really want to see this though, based on the couple of reviews that are on it. It sounds very Sato-esque.
Right. Oh, but you know what? Looking at this picture, and you know, I'm not the expert on this, but this seems like a type of the style of this poster seems like a commonly used thing in gay pornos and pinkus. And the reason I say that is because, in Shinsekai, the cinema in Shinsekai we spoke about so often on this podcast. Often I walk past and in the windows they have whatever film is playing.
Yeah.
And in the not in the Kokusai Eigakan, but in the Toei one, they have like 3 different screens, and one of them is a gay cinema. And there they always have the gay posters lined up alongside the normal movies and then the normal pink films. And the gay ones, more often than not, have these kind of crazy digital effect shit, like pasted on top of other shit type style.
Cut out kind of art style.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
This is awful.
I laughed a lot when I saw that.
This little shine as well. Yeah. A little glimmer.
It's amazing.
Oh, no. Oh, and it's in your watch list.
Oh, yeah. Of course it is. Hey, give me my phone back.
What else? Your watch list is full of gay porn. And horses.
It's my 2 favorite things. Yes, so he worked as an assistant director on other stuff, including his other mentor. So Sato is a big mentor. He has another one. And you will know this guy. I don't know if you'll recognize his name, though. But he also worked with Kazuhiro Sano. You recognize the name?
No, that doesn't ring a bell.
So he is one of the 4 heavenly kings of Pink.
Yeah.
But he's also the lead actor in Cyclops as
Oh.
well. And he's in a lot of Sato films. So he acts in stuff as well. And he's in Sabaku. I probably should have started with that.
Okay, right.
Yeah, so Sano, he worked as an assistant for him. And he was an occasional actor for him as well when it was convenient. So they're like, we'll get you in this scene.
Sure.
And he was a different kind of mentor. Apparently Sano was very nice to him, very friendly, and he was less hands-on, like brutal like Sato was, but he was more kind of, what's the word, like spiritual and educational. So, for example, he said to him, so Sano was like, read 100 books that you think are worth reading and then get back to me and tell me what you thought about them.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so that's his, like, the advice that he would give, and he kind of educated him in a more of like a cultural sort of sense, I guess. Yeah.
I wonder if he read the books.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
If someone says, go read 100 books, then come back to me when you're done.
That's a lot of books to read.
Not doing it.
I can't read 100 books. It's going to take me ages. But yeah, Sano chose him as an assistant. He was really grateful for this, and he feels like he gained a lot of wisdom for him. And it also inspired him to cast, this is where it gets a little confusing. So Kajino cast his assistant in Sabaku.
Okay.
And it was, so this guy Kazuhiko Tatsuzawa, who I think he plays the main kind of aggressor in Sabaku. So that was actually Kajino's assistant. And because of his close relationship that he had with Sano and Sato, he wanted to like replicate that on this set, have him as an actor, and they felt they could trust each other because of that relationship. That brings us to Sabaku. His only directorial effort.
Yeah.
Which is insane. I can't believe it.
Not right.
Yeah. And I've got some fucking great facts about this film.
Really? That's great, because there's like no information on this.
There's nothing in English about this film, so this like really helped me understand some things that are a little confusing about this film. So after working on Soft Skin, which we've covered on this pod, so he was an assistant on that.
Kazuna was an assistant on Soft Skin.
Yeah, Kazuna worked on that. So he finished working on that. It was in the process of getting released, so I guess he had some time. This was in 1998. He started writing this script. Right. The script, the film, is based on what case? It's
the concrete encased high school murder case.
Yeah. So just as like a brief synopsis of this film, it's basically like this gender-flipped version of the Junko Furata concrete girl case, where instead of it being Junko, it's Jun as a boy, and it's kind of this fantasy version of like imagining the perpetrators getting out of prison and then the father of the victim taking his revenge on them, which sounds very simplistic, but it's not. The film itself is not a simple kind of revenge film at all.
No.
At all. So,
I mean, there have been other adaptations of this story. There's the film called Concrete. There's the very longly named, like the concrete encased high school murder incident. And then there's also the juvenile crime, also starring our mate Imaizumi, who we met, who plays one of the perpetrators.
Didn't you say he's never seen
He's never seen it.
And yeah, I don't want to go too far into the case, because I think we will at a later time.
At a later time we will, but having seen those films and then seeing this film based on the same incident, this is a fucking maybe not as an adaptation, but it is such a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
And actually blows the others out of the water.
Yeah.
It is a much better film, despite being the least, like, accurate.
Yeah,
if we're talking about how accurate it is based on the actual case.
It's not a historical recreation of this event at all. It's more of just an imagined, different version of this. Yeah. And that's actually how the script came about. So Kojino talks about how he wondered about what happened to the perpetrators of the concrete case. And he found out that they'd been released from prison. So this sort of sparked this idea for this script. And he started to imagine someone doing something like this fucking reprehensible and terrible at a young age, and how that would change them as they grow into adulthood with this like level of like guilt and remorse. And he was saying, like, you know, even if you do feel remorse, it doesn't change what you've done. And if, like, for example, if the victim's father comes to take revenge, you feel like you kind of had it coming, right?
Sure.
So if payback is coming for you, you just have to accept it. So he's talking about living in that kind of world. And he, in the interview, he talks about how he imagines that kind of existence would be extremely frightening, where you're just constantly ready to receive some kind of retribution. And it's like you're living in this limbo of like, you kind of accept it, but don't accept it at the same time. And God, that really comes across in the film as well. So that's how the script, the original version of the script came along. But at this point, I think it was being written not as a gender flipped version.
Okay.
And this was very interesting. So he apparently like kind of put off making this film for a long time. And he was working as an assistant director. And guess who pushed him to make the film?
Not Sato?
It was Sato. Yeah. So Sato was the one who was like, come on, mate, fucking make a film. And he like fully pushed him into making this film. And he introduced him to the producer of the film. So I think this is why Sato gets that planning credit.
Right.
Because he's the one that sort of pushed it forward. So he put him in touch with this producer. He had the script. And then another writer, Akio Nanki, got involved. So he wrote the film Hunter's Sense of Touch. Have you seen that? The Sato film, another gay pinku?
No.
It was so interesting realizing that he co-wrote Sabaku, because when I was watching Sabaku again, I'm like, fuck, it's so similar to Hunter's Sense of Touch. It's a similar setup, similar like one room sort of location sort of thing. But yeah, he got involved at the request of Sato to help him with the script. Sato also pushed him towards like changing it into a gay film, because it would be easier to get the funding to be able to make it. Huh. So that's why it's this gender flip thing.
That's mad.
It was out of it being... It was out of necessity to make
to get
it
money,
like that.
to get the funding,
to be able to make this.
So there was a demand for a gay version of the Junko Furuta murder case.
I guess it was just
adaptation.
Easier to get away with it in this way, and there was more demand for this. Yeah,
that's mad.
But what was really interesting in this interview? So the writer is also interviewed in this scene, and he talks about like the difficulty of doing this. So he says in the interview, there are certain shackles when making gay films. And in hindsight, we maybe pandered to that a bit too much, to this sort of gay aspect. Kojino wanted to center the story on the case itself, but they had to adhere to the rules of the gay pinku, basically.
Right.
So they had to...
Can I ask, is this where the red pants come in?
I feel like it fucking might be, yeah.
Because you mentioned before that in gay pinkus there's the red pants.
And there are red pants in this. So, like,
are they the rules? We have to...
So there are like tropes of gay pinkus in this.
Yeah.
That, they had to, like, put in... I don't know specifically if it's the red pants, but it really, really does feel like that.
You say that, though, but, I mean, first and foremost, back when you gave this to me initially and I watched this, and you're like, guy, it's a gay pinku, but you're going to have to watch it. And this is the first gay pinku I'd ever seen. So this is where I got my standard from. But and I've not seen it since. But going back and rewatching it, even though it's a gay pinku, I don't know, and you have the gender roles in there, but it doesn't feel like they're ramming the gay stuff down your throat.
No,
and there's not really many sex scenes, if any.
Well, Kojino also talks about he cut out a lot of the stuff.
Oh, really?
That they were encouraged to do when writing the script. I don't really know how he got away with it. Maybe that's why he's not made another film, but
interesting.
Yeah, he says he cut a lot of that stuff out.
That's interesting, because this falls into the perfect time frame for a pink film. It's like an hour long.
Oh yeah, it's 100% a pink film.
So, but if they had shot more, like shot these like extra sex scenes, then it would have been too long for the pink theater.
Yeah, or maybe he like cut around it and added extra stuff from other points. But yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, he said he changed it quite a lot. So they had the script finished. It was changed into this gay pinku.
Yeah.
And then the production company, ENK, was having some financial trouble and stopped producing for a while. So it got delayed. And then it was like 3 years before it started filming. So I guess like maybe 2 or 3 years. So he started writing it in 98. And then, by 2000, he was making it. So maybe let's just... Do you want to take a moment to like talk about the film itself? And then I've got a few notes of like why they did certain things.
Absolutely.
In the film.
Yeah, let's get into it. Yeah, I rewatched this a couple of days ago and it really bummed me out. This film is so bleak. It's so grim.
Yeah.
It starts grim and just gets more and more grim. It is so upsetting. But there's a beauty to it as well.
Yeah, it's a phenomenally beautiful film.
Yeah.
In a very fucking bleak way.
It really is. And just like all the stylistic choices, the music. It's just like soft piano playing.
Yeah.
Whilst people are getting tortured.
Basically, the film is mostly like almost like fucking pitch black as well, right? So we've got like the two perpetrators of the murder, and we start already. They're like shackled up.
Yeah.
And we've got Sano playing this father character who's torturing them and just constantly asking about like what happened to his son. Like how did they kill him? And then we don't really leave that space. We get flashbacks a little bit, but they're
childhood pictures kind of
childhood
things.
pictures. They're very dreamy. Kiyomi Ito is in some of the flashbacks. Like,
does she do the voiceover?
Yeah, you hear her the voice is the mother. So, of course, like Sato regular that we've talked about before. I think it starts bleak and it remains bleak, but it takes on this kind of like weird beauty as it moves on. And it's not a simple thing of like, these two guys are like evil, violent cunts that did this thing. It becomes way more complex, and the father character is extremely complex as well. So it's not just a simple revenge tale at all.
No.
Which is amazing. And
on paper, it's just essentially, it's an hour-long torture movie, is what we're watching. It's just torture. But if you think it's like, it's a torture movie, it's not like that kind of like torture porn, like blood and stuff. And even though it's extremely bloody, it never feels like cheap and exploitive, is one thing that I felt. Like, it's done in a way, I mean, we're talking about a gay pinku on the Junko Furuata murder case, but somehow this feels quite classy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I totally agree, yeah. Because it's like beautifully shot as well, and like, and yeah, even its grossest moments have this like, strange like aesthetic.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, there's a poetry
the perfect word for it, poetry,
it fits together. It's just, it's really, it's quite a oddly beautiful film. And I mean, we're talking about a film where there is a sex scene in this that is absolutely fucked, like covered in blood, and like people who are like barely conscious, like fucking each other, smothered in blood. A finger, like a charred finger, getting like sucked on, and it's just, it's visual. Like if you just took moments from this and took it out of the context of the film and showed someone, it's some of the most like disgusting imagery you could ever see. As a whole, it's just this incredible experience about like loss and guilt and like it's super fucking powerful.
It really is. I had to take a break. I was watching it. I was just like, I'm really upset watching it. Because you feel the pain and the loss of the father character.
And the perpetrators later on as well, because it's in this rewriting of the story, it's like there's more to their connection, like for the murderer to the victim, than there is in the real case. So that's taking poetic license as well.
But as we mentioned before, like, even though this is a gay pinku, and it sounds like he cut some of the other stuff out, but there's like there's not even like a sex scene, like as in sex. There's some oral stuff. I think there's one oral sex scene in this.
There's really not much, right?
But you could basically, even the most like homophobic person could watch this and as a horror movie or as a whatever and still enjoy it. It doesn't feel like a gay pinku. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's weird because it doesn't, and it does at the same time.
It's got a romanticism about it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't... You know, when you watch, like, a Sato film or any pink film, like, people are there to get their jollies off. You know, you're there to watch people fuck. And if the story surrounding the sex scenes is good, then great. Whereas in this, the story is the main point, and you get a slightly erotic scene here or there.
Yeah, you're right. It never, like, stops for some, like, red underwear pants sucking, right? It's like everything is related to the themes and the story.
It's so well weaved in. And that's one of the, I've mentioned before on this podcast, that's one of my biggest problems with pink films, or has been until I've learned to separate them from regular movies, is that you get invested into a story, you're having fun, but then you have to like stop to watch them fuck for the next 5-10 minutes. And you kind of get taken out of the story. Whereas the scenes, the very few erotic scenes while they are in here, they're so well weaved in that you never feel like you're leaving the story.
Yeah.
And when they are there, they are fucking disgusting.
Yeah. Disgusting, but also oddly romantic or something, even though it's like you're watching something that is horrendous, like horrible shit, but it's oddly delicate. It's so fucked. But like watching this again, like I hadn't seen it for a couple of years, and I sent you a message afterwards where I'm like, like watching it a second time, I liked it a lot, loved it the first time, but watching it again, I'm like, I think this is a fucking masterpiece. Like watching it again, it kind of blew me away. It's one of the best pink films I've ever seen. It's a fucking amazing film.
It really is. Yeah, I would totally agree. It is a masterpiece, and I think there's something about the tone it sets. It's so bleak, and there's this like drifting piano that just gets played over the top, and it really just it sucks you into this world that they've created, and there it hits all the senses.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. It's like watching a kind of something that like is drifting between a dream and then a nightmare as well. It's like it's not a full nightmare, like it's not in your face, but it is a nightmare. It is. But when it got to the point where he starts sucking on those charred fingers, and this is like the son character like coming back to life in this scene and sucking on his own father's, like it's like it's kind of this incestuous sort of scene, but then saying that, I feel like I'm cheapening it, because it's not just that.
Yeah.
Like there's
Is it? Does he gets like blowtorched? Is it?
Yeah.
And that brings me to the next point that I want to say about this film. The visual effects are great. I mean, there's not a lot. It's not like a prosthetic heavy film, but those charred fingers, the blackened fingers that make up the blood, it all looks really good.
They really went all out for this film. And even, beyond the effects as well, like the lighting and it's lit in a way that I've never seen any film lit, actually, because it's so dark for the most part. It's hard to even make out the actors, but it doesn't. That's not a negative thing, though. It kind of adds to the atmosphere. And you see just enough to get through the film and to understand what's happening.
Yeah.
But it's still just so, like, suffocatingly dark all the time.
Yeah.
And what the actors go through in this as well. Like, early on, there's a scene with them, like, covered in candles.
Yeah.
And it's just, like, it's real. Like, it's clearly real, where they're, like, naked bodies.
Don't they have, like, candles, like, in their eyes?
Yeah, it's, like, dripping all over them. Yeah, it's fucking mad.
But, like, they've, like, and the scene, and later his eyes are, like, missing, right? One of the characters' eyes are missing?
I think so, yeah. Or he's, like, been
burned?
Blinded, or,
It's a horrific film.
Yeah.
But it is a fantastic film.
Yeah.
And whilst watching it, despite it being based on the Junko Furuta murder case, you know, I never felt like I was watching something exploitive.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Whereas you get that a lot in, especially like films based on the real murders, such as like, you know, There's a Secret in My Soup, you know, is another one, the Hello Kitty murder stuff.
Yeah.
They always feel like really cheap, really exploitative. This one doesn't. This one has like a class about it.
Yeah, I could not agree with that more. Like it never feels exploitative. It feels like it's more of a comment on the case and like more of a kind of artistic interpretation of something that didn't even happen, right? I think that's what it is. It's not trying to tell you, oh, this is a real thing. It's more just he's taken his inspiration from a real thing without exploiting it. Yeah, amazing stuff. I have some comments from Kojino on what he was going for with the film, which are quite interesting. So the writer, Nanki, he talks about what Kojino wanted from the film. So he said he was aiming for 60 minutes of tension. And he wanted continuous tension to hold the movie together that didn't rely on plot or story. And I really think that is a very accurate... He got that.
He got that.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, Kojino also says, like, you know, with stories like this, you can easily go down the emotional route, but he wanted to focus on the horror and the kind of, that kind of side to it, and just see how long he could hold on to this tension for.
Yeah, I get that, but I think he got them both. He got the emotional route as well.
Yeah, it's there, but it's very subtle, right? It's not melodramatic. But it's there, yeah. This is kind of an interesting point. He didn't necessarily want to make a violent film. Like this is he like didn't set out to make a violent film, but he says that the theme of this movie is being conscious of your sins. I wanted to express that without relying on horror elements, but ultimately, I couldn't get my point across without it. That, and I like playing with fake blood. So that's the reason it turned into that. But yeah, I really think that idea of like that constant tension is really something I noticed with this. It doesn't stop this film. There's no like up and down. It's just like the whole time at this level throughout.
It's intense. I'm glad it's only 60 minutes. Yeah. I don't think I could handle it
anymore.
It's
the perfect length for what this is. I also had some notes about after the film came out and reactions to it. For Kojino himself, he says, so this is an interview back when it first came out, and he says, I'm quite pleased with the film. I actually lost my memory of the rap party because Sano, so his other mentor, who never gives me any affirmation, said that it's a pass, but only just, which was the highest compliment ever.
What?
And that was the last thing he remembered from the rap. And Sato, who also never says anything positive about anyone's work, said with a smile, it's a bit shoddy, but good, and that made me happy, which is really nice. That his two mentors gave him some, not like overwhelming praise, but they liked his film, clearly. So
you should hear our response. Yeah, we'd be like, "Mate, you fucking did it! It's a masterpiece.
You're a fucking genius."
He's like, "Who are you?"
Yeah, where from? But even though it was a gay film, apparently gay pinkus struggle to like win awards at like Pink Awards. But even though it was a gay film, it won the Best New Director award at the 2000 Pink Film Awards. So
see, that's just mad. The fact that this would be entered into an award category. Like, at an award show. They're like, all right, let's look at the contestants. We got this.
Yeah.
This
what do you
fucking
think of this,
torture movie.
While Tana was searching for information on this, she found it's like a retrospective sort of article about it, but it's talking about a screening of the film in Rose Cinema in Umeda, which I guess doesn't exist anymore, unless I looked it up and
Cinema.
Rose Cinema, yeah, I couldn't find
in Umeda.
Yeah,
because the cinema that I mentioned about when you showed me the horse fucking film, the one in Shinsekai, they have a Rose. The gay screen is called Rose.
Well, that's actually a term of phrase from gay pinku.
Oh, is it?
Tana found out like that's what. Yeah, they use to describe gay pink.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So my guess, can't say 100%. I think Rose Cinema in Umeda must have been a gay pinku cinema that perhaps doesn't exist anymore because I couldn't find anything, but I can't say for sure.
Oh.
But at this cinema, they had a screening. Like this is quite early after it was released, and it apparently had a very controversial response, as you could
guess. Really?
Yeah, with some people saying it was a masterpiece, other people fucking hating it, but it definitely had a response. But at the screening, there was a producer from Germany who loved the film, and he brought it over to Europe and released it on DVD. So that's why it has subtitles in English. So the DVD that came out in Europe had subtitles in English, French, German, and Greek. For some reason. Yeah, so if you speak any of those languages, you can easily find this film to watch with subtitles. Yeah,
that's insane. Yeah, I never would have thought this had an international release.
Yeah, that really surprised me.
But like watching this again, in my head, I was going through the same thing that I think about so many Pink films that we've covered on this podcast. Like, who is jerking off to this? And if someone had gone to the cinema, some gay fella. He's like, I'm going to go watch some sexy stuff. Let's see what this is about. And just probably sat there for an hour crying into his penis, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it would have... It's the least erotic film. Like,
but they have that red underwear, mate.
They have the red underwear.
That's all you need to trigger a fan of gay pinkus.
Is that all you need?
That's all you need?
Jesus. Easily pleased, aren't they?
Do a re-release of Sound of Summer where you like CGI in red underwear on Han.
Oh,
then you could get the gay audience in.
I need them.
Yeah,
I need them on my side.
Get a couple more viewers in there.
But can you imagine? I mean, we've said about Name Means Yes, about Dog and Aunt as well. Just like going to the cinema and just having to like persevere through that on the screen.
This is on another level, isn't it? Because Name Means Yes, Dog and Aunt, yeah, sure. But this is like, this is not.
At least in like in Dog and Aunt especially, at least there were actual sex scenes. They're not nice to look at, but there are sex scenes with people, not dogs, you know.
And Name Means Yes, I don't know, maybe there's a couple of people that are into 7-horse sticks flopping about.
not this guy, but in this, there's a blowjob scene on a dying person.
Yeah. As you said, there's like not much sex. It's just torture. But somehow it still gets a pass as a Pink film. But that's sort of what he was saying, right? He like cut out a lot of the things that he was supposed to include, which is kind of surprising that he got away with that.
Yeah, I would have thought like funding would have been, jeopardized or there's a breach of contract or something.
Oh, mate. God, what a film.
What a film.
What a fucking film. I love it.
It's a shame that he never did anything else.
Yeah, I that is the one thing I don't really know what happened to him after this. I guess he went back to Hokkaido, maybe. I don't know.
Well, he's from a rich family.
Yeah.
He probably started his own business, now works as a boss, I don't know.
Yeah.
Does something.
I searched for his name, but yeah, I couldn't find anything about him. But it sounds like it took a lot of pushing for him to make this film. So perhaps he just didn't have the confidence to move forward with another film.
But for someone to go into like the industry as a teenager, work up through the ranks, work through, you know,
the drive
with the four gods of pink, whatever you want to call them, and then go on to his own, like, to direct his own movie with his idol, his mentor, as a not a producer, as a, what was it?
Well, he's like one of the main. Oh, like Sato's planning. And
he's the planning, right?
His other mentor is one of the main roles. You know, playing the dad.
Maybe that was it. Maybe he's like, I've reached my
yeah.
I'm not gonna get myself any better than this. This is my dream. I've realized my dream. I'm gonna get out while I'm still on top.
Maybe, yeah. But yeah, I would love to know more about what happened to him.
Yeah.
So we'll keep looking into that, see what we can find.
Yeah. I think this is a film that could really get a second life. Or maybe it already did in Germany, I don't know. But, I mean, when you look at films associated or based off, murder cases, especially this one, where there is already a few adaptations, this one never gets mentioned.
Yeah.
So I didn't know about it until you gave it to me. But I feel like this is one that could really, do well in various communities. Obviously, you've got the horror community for sure. Dramas, like true crime communities. I think a lot of different people could enjoy this because it is that good of a film.
Yeah. Probably by the time this episode drops, there'll be like a third window release. That seems... maybe not a third window, but that always seems to fucking happen.
Yeah.
With us, we'll cover something and then it gets a release. How about the wrongometer?
It's definitely higher than Door, I'll tell you that. I think it's a big one.
Yeah, I think... Yeah, what are you going to go for Sabaku?
I think a 9. But I think it's a close 10 as well.
Yeah, I was like... Yeah, tossing up between a 9 or a 10. And fuck it, I'm gonna go for a 10.
Yeah.
Because it's fucked, this film. I've never seen anything like it. And
fuck it, I want to do a 10 now. Right, it's a 20.
It's a double 10. There we go. Yeah, it's just for everything we said. It's it's full on. It's
a bit much.
It's a bit much. Okay.
But yeah, it's great. So these were the two films that kicked off this podcast.
There you go.
So if people have been listening the whole time from 1 to 50, now you know the origins.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
There we go. So what do we do now?
So now we have an announcement to make. We're a subscription-only podcast from now on.
Oh, God. No.
No, but we're taking a break. We got to episode 50. We have some other things that we would like to work on. Since this is such a time-consuming hobby, we decided at this great number of 50 to have a little rest and come back at a later date.
Have a little sleep.
Have a sleep.
No, we're not really. We're doing other things.
As you said, my skin is turning grey.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, we don't know how long the break will be, but yeah, we're taking a bit of a break. But we'll be back, and we've got exciting plans for when we're back, which we won't talk about now.
No.
But don't worry, you'll like it. You'll like it.
We'll be back.
So while we're away, keep fucking telling people about this podcast and, so we can come back and still have listeners.
Yeah.
Please don't unsubscribe.
We'll still be
Stay subscribed. And, yeah, go and follow us on Instagram. Show me something wrong. Send us an email. We'll still be checking it. Show me something wrong at gmail.com. And keep those fucking reviews rolling in, mate.
What was that?
Keep them rolling in.
Rolling in.
Keep them rolling in.
Keep them rolling in. That's what they say.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll be back.
Any final words? I guess thanks for listening. We did it. 50.
Yay. And with some claps.
That's me, yeah. you imagine if someone's listening to this on the train, they just started like clapping, like.